Rival Esports. It is the EU Summer Open. My name is Hunted. With me is Jar of Jam, and my goodness, did we have a great series to watch first off.
Can we have more of the same, please? 5 games with long overtime, with games going back and forth, with a lot of flashy plays. Excuse me. I'm still savoring what we just saw, but we need to move on. We need to move on to round number 300, and Wind and Rain will be playing against Dead Rabbits. Interesting names. Some interesting players on both sides as well. BJB, Moxify, and Snuffmill are playing for a side of Wind and Rain, and it is Casaprima, Mexa, and Luxor that will be representing the Dead Rabbits.
Yeah, this should be an interesting one. Of course, this is a round 3 game, and it is best of 5 again, as we will have throughout all of today. I'm not quite sure what the setup will be tomorrow, but again, I do want to let you guys know that we have 4 teams from today. The 4 best teams that make it all the way through will move on to tomorrow, to where they're going to be playing against 4 invited teams, and it's a little bit secretive. We'll go ahead and unveil them later on, I'm sure, but it's going to be a lot of fun action tomorrow. And I know that we're going to be here same time tomorrow, Jam, 11 o'clock. Well, my time, 5 o'clock, I think it is.
Central European summertime.
Yeah, exactly. That's quite. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. I mean, we've already had a great time so far. We still have plenty of Rocket League to bring you today, but you're going to want to catch tomorrow, because that is when all of the action playing for that $1,500 prize pool is going to happen. But, let's go ahead and get into this game. We're still waiting on the players to join up, but Wind and Rain, Dead Rabbits, what are your expectations from this series?
It's an interesting one based on the fact that Dead Rabbit's side has been around. I've seen their players here and there, but I wouldn't call them someone who is that well known in the scene. I don't think they have won any of the big tournaments, and as a result, well, they might be that dark horse that can surprise folks out of nowhere, or they might be just a little bit of stop in the road for Wind and Rain. BJB on the other end, though, has been playing in many tournaments. He has been trying for Dream Hacks. He has been playing in the Renegade Cups.
Yeah,
man, that was a long time ago. Renegade Cups. soon will be a year. Oh man, well, still, also playing for Ian Rewind esports tournaments as well. So he is a familiar face over here. Maybe even under the Wind and Rain banner as well. So I think I'm gonna give this to Wind and Rain, but even with Bim Bam Gamers, we didn't get the predictions, but I was thinking, yeah, Bim Bam Gamers should take it, despite this being a close series. It ended up being an extremely close series. So for here, with a lot of unknowns, I'll keep my reservations a little bit low, or keep my expectations a little bit low, but I still will most likely give it to Wind and Rain.
Well, I am interested in what you guys have to think at home in chat. Go ahead and use the command WAR to vote for Wind and Rain, and I think it's DR for Dead Rabbits. Exclamation mark WAR for Wind and Rain, exclamation mark DR for Dead Rabbits. Go ahead and get those votes in, as we are so close to getting this game underway. I'm very interested to see how this one turns out. We saw a 5-game series. I mean, we've talked about it. We went over that whole thing last time. It just kind of goes to show how close all of these teams are. I mean, this is quite a large bracket, 50 teams, and the way that the seeding works, there's certainly a large kind of gap between some of them. But the fact that we went to all 5 games in a round 2 game is kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah, it just feels nice, and there has been an argument running in the scene for quite a while now that both the RLCS and RLRS need to be expanded from 8 teams to 10 teams to showcase as much talent as you could possibly do. And I mean, I'm not averse to that. More Rocket League for us, really. But we'll see what Sanix will do about that. But for now, I mean, right here on our Rival Esports channel, it's a perfect opportunity for you to savor some of that Rocket League that you might not see that often, or knowing especially now that the DreamHack Valencia is over, DreamHack Montreal is still a long dream. Man, that will be in September. It's still a long way to go. So why not see some quality gameplay from the European region, and then next week from the North America as well, as the Summer Open will be crossing over the Atlantic. So Wind and Rain, Dead Rabbits. currently trying to feel out whether the server is good and everything, but they seemingly do not want to start a game, just want to get as much preparation as possible. And obviously we'll give it to them. So why not? So Hunted, maybe you have a prediction. Do you, from what you've already seen as these teams are just playing some warm-ups, do you think there might be what's the word? Someone you prefer in the matchup between Win and Rain or Dead Rabbits? Are you just gonna let these teams surprise you?
Again, I mean, we talked about, I mainly focus on the North American scene, of course, being an NA caster, that it can be quite difficult to keep up with a lot of the European bubble teams. But that said, funny enough, I've seen two of the three Wind and Rain players actually play before in different tournaments, because I do like to try to keep up with it as much as possible. And I have really high expectations for this team coming into it. So, I hate to agree with you, but I really do think that Wind and Rain kind of have the advantage. Although, that said, I've never seen Dead Rabbits play. So, could be a complete surprise to me, but I'm just, I'm here for the experience. I can't wait to watch it as we are almost underway with game number one.
All right, well, let's let the team speak for themselves. Wind and Rain in blue, Dead Rabbits in orange, and it's another best of 5. We'll be having best of 5s all throughout the day. But as we mentioned previously, no second chance. A single elimination bracket. Wind and Rain, Dead Rabbits. Who will go first to the 3 victories? Well, we'll find out right now.
Yes, we will. Game number 1 underway. As you said, Wind and Rain in blue, Dead Rabbits in orange. As Luxor is going to try to play this one. Mexa now down towards Casa Prima, but there's BJB. He will play that one down towards his teammate, and this is going to be quite an interesting game number 1. Great pass out in front. Does get turned away by the blue defense. Mexa still looking for an opportunity. We've seen Dead Rabbits here already, coming out quite quickly, looking to put on the pressure early.
Yeah, seems like they come in this one with a plan. And that plan was a passing play straight from the flank to the center. Not connecting with it initially, but you know that they will try that again because they came this close to scoring on the opening minute.
Luxor is going to help his teammate out there. Kanzi out of the corner. Mexa up for it. He can't quite get the touch. This is an opportunity. Good pass across off the post. Unfortunately, Wind and Rain can't find the opening goal. They had a 2v1. Couldn't quite put the ball in the back of the net. And would like to see that get cleaned up. Maybe it's just a little bit of, first game nerves or so. Of course, playing on stream could always, kind of add to that as well. But it's still scoreless, and we've played just about a minute 20 here in game 1.
It's the jitters. First game jitters might happen. It might also be that. It's just the fact that you have some extra pressure of you with the 500. Well, actually, slightly lower than that, but people watching you. So yeah, or we might not just see those games without us streaming those games. We don't know. Maybe they make those tiny little mistakes here and there every single time. So let's just see and continue how it goes. As Dead Rabbits and Wind and Rain still sitting with nothing, but are moving the ball around for sure. Around the field, that's for sure. No huge mistakes, no big openings or anything, and neither of the teams is preferring to sit in defense for long periods of time. They're both pretty attack-oriented.
Here's Mexa out of the corner, out in front. Casa Prima's there. Snoffmill makes the save there as Luxor plays this one up. Casa Prima keeps the ball in. It's still in this blue half. We played just about half of the game. Still no score. Good shot by Luxor, but here's Mexa one more time out in front. My goodness, they cannot find the back of the net. Both of these defenses playing quite well. There's been a lot of opportunities out in front of these goals, but we've only seen 2 shots from Wind and Rain, and that was the 5th shot there from Dead Rabbits. Quite surprising at how many, kind of missed opportunities there's been so far. Maybe it's just the striking, or really it's just the defenders getting in the positions they need to, and what a solo effort to put Wind and Rain up 1-0.
Snowflake finds himself a ball on the flank. He does everything himself, beats 2 players with a touch off the wall, perfect car control, and then just barreling on forward on the field. He goes on further and further until he flicks his opposition. There we go, first opener. A solo effort, though. What I would really like to see from both the teams is a little bit of teamwork again. To me, it feels like both teams will benefit a lot by staying in the attack for much longer, bringing more players. Otherwise, it's 1 attempt, maybe 2 attempts, and then everyone just retreats.
Here's Casa Prima, wants to keep the ball in if he can. BJB is going to get the clear. Luxor up for it, turns it towards Mexa. Will be played down. There's Kanzi, can't quite find the touch. Here's BJB, shot on goal, good save. Casa Prima out in front. Luxor now. Stoffmill over towards Kanzi. And Mexa can't quite find the touch to play this one towards the net. He does get a second opportunity. Can he get the back wall touch? Yes, but it is saved out in front. And man, Dead Rabbits, they've really put on a lot of pressure here in the blue half. But it has really come down to the saves and the defensive play, but that one just rolls in. Spoke too soon. It happens every single time.
Saves, defensive plays. Right now, it seems like, well, that's a strainer kind of a defense. So many holes, letting the ball through. Well, it happens. I do have to review the 100. It happens, but Wind and Rain will have to like to take that one back. With all three players in the defense letting that one slip, now 3v to Dead Rabbits, who have been looking for a goal for a really long time.
Here's Kamzi. He's trying to play this one down. Luxor is going to make the play across. Mexa now into the blue half. BJB. Just Knockmill. It's just going to sit here in mid for the moment. No team able to find the possession. With 45 seconds to go, this next goal going to be very, very important. BJB tries to collect that pass, can't quite do it. Luxor out in front. Kamzi's there to corral it. Plays it on. Good transition play, but Mexa in a solid position to make the save. 30 seconds to go. BJB challenging Mexa in the corner. Here comes Kamzi to help out. Casa Prima will play this one down. Stoffmill now collecting, and Luxor will win the challenge over top. Will we see an overtime here in game number 1? It looks like it's heading that way.
And it might be that, but with just one goal, or rather nothing separating the teams.
No.
And this quick breakaway.
What?
Casa Prima, well, that was a quick delivery from one side of the field to the other. And Casa Prima, just like with his opportunity earlier in this game, he just found himself in the spot where the ball just sort of delivers itself to him. And then all he needs to do is to bring it through. You saw on the replay also Wind and Rain's defender is being bumped out of the play as Luxor and Mexa. We're trying to run all kinds of interference. Well, overtime right now will be a gone deal. Dead Rabbits steal the whole game from Wind and Rain in the closing seconds. And as it stands, game number 1 will be decided straight in regulation, with a lot of back and forth, a lot of indecisiveness, but a lot of chances for Dead Rabbits.
Yeah, absolutely. They really came out strong early on in this game. Throughout most of the game, they just kept the pressure on the blue half. It took them a while to get some payoff, but eventually they did find their way through. Casa Prima with 2 goals on 5 shots in that game. But I think this was more of a defensive kind of battle. Both teams played defense quite well. Neither one really able to find their footing on offense. While, yeah, it did look like Dead Rabbits had some momentum, it just never looked like they were comfortable. We'll see if that changes in game 2.
Really, for Wind and Rain, there's a lot of saving grace for next game. You saw them move the ball around the field pretty well. That transition you mentioned from defense to offense, using 2, sometimes even 3 players to move the ball quickly. This could net you great offensive opportunities, even goals straight just from that. So if they can use that in the next game, man, they will. The world is their oyster, especially knowing that the both teams really have shown very similar play styles. So doing something out of the ordinary, sort of getting ahead of the class, might allow Wind and Rain to get the series back to 1-1.
And it looks like we are just about underway with game number 2. We'll see if Wind and Rain can respond, or if Dead Rabbits is going to take an early 2-game lead in the series. We got 5 minutes to figure that out in game number 2. Stoffmill and Mexa will take the kickoff. BJB first to the ball, gets a flip reset off the ceiling. Not really a flip reset, but a beautiful goal either way. BJB puts his team up 1-0.
And BJB gets the boost just in the nick of time. That was a fancy jump straight off the ceiling, getting on the touch, and, well, that's as good a start as the Wind and Rain can get. Another individual effort, though. Just like Snuffmill has scored that 1 goal in the first game, this time it was BJB. I feel like there's still a lot of teamwork possibility for that team to be unlocked. But for now, well, they scored a pretty bravado opening to get this game number 2 open.
one's out in front. Here's BJB. He's going to pop this up. Kamzi wants to try to follow it. Can he go underneath Mexa? It's on net. Casaprima makes the save. Snoffmill trying to force it home. Another save there, this time by Casaprima. And somehow that ball stays out. Scramble still on in front. But Casaprima eventually gets the clear. And my goodness, Dead Rabbits avoid going down too early in this game. The Wind and Rain have had their opportunities early.
They stuck in the attack for a pretty long time. That actually was a follow-up, but by the time they decided to return the ball back in, the rest of the team has already decided to go back. They didn't want to leave their net open, and Luxor somehow keeps the net safe still. Wow, it's Wind and Rain in full control in this game.
Snoffmill gets over top of Luxor. Ball in the orange box. Mexa getting bumped there. Kamzi towards the net, but it is just wide. Casaprima will get the flick over top of Snoffmill, and he's trying to work a counterattack now over top of BJB. Luxor keeps the ball in. BJB off the back wall. Over to Kamzi. And now Casaprima can't quite do what he wants. But that one now is Mexa. Will play it out of the corner. A little bit of back and forth now, but it is still a one-goal game. Wind and Rain have had their chances. Only able to capitalize once on them. As we approach the 2-minute mark here of game number 2.
We didn't see anything.
That was
Do not pay attention to the men behind the curtain.
Going to continue on. 2 minutes gone. Game number 2 now as Luxor challenges this one. Snoffmill over top. There's Casaprima. Into BJB and a little bit of back and forth. This game has slowed down after a crazy start to the first minute.
Yeah, neither of the teams is willing to take control of it, just exchanging slaps here and there. That was a good opportunity for Dead Rabbits just right now. They were bringing 2 players up. But since that sort of fake out or just a pure miss and nobody on the follow-up, they weren't able to get themselves a goal up front. And really, it's the amount of shots that they took in the previous game, well, really is nothing, cannot be compared with Dead Rabbits are getting right now. Right now, they're getting squiddage. Absolutely almost nothing. They're rarely even getting past the midfield line on the other end of the field, and with the way that this game has been slowly going, really it's not beneficial for Dead Rabbits right now.
Well, they're looking to put something here. They only need one. Luxor just whiffs on it, had an opportunity, couldn't put a touch on it, but the ball is still remaining in Wind and Rain's territory. Quite good if you are Dead Rabbits. They just need to find the touches to get it past the defenders. That is the challenging part, as it has been Wind and Rain holding strong on the defensive zone. Minute 35 is all that is left here in game number 2. Over towards Mexa. Mexa pops it up. Kamzi's there, turns it towards the sidewall, but 2 players here. Casaprima can't go over top of BJB. Snoffmill now doesn't get the touch, leaves it for his teammate. Mexa loses that 50. And the clear is on. Minute 15 now, Jam, in game number 2. Still a 1-goal deficit, but a large turnaround from Dead Rabbits. They're really pushing for this goal.
They need to find it. And remember how well Dead Rabbits looked in game number 1. Well, straight from the opening, they almost found that passing play from the flank to the center. I'm looking for something like that right now because it's just not clicking out for them. They are bringing the players in. This is looking more promising than the majority of this that they've done this game so far. But they're trying to push the ball through a player on the flank, on the wall, or just through them to the center without any real opportunity to do so. Always met by Wind and Rain players. There needs to be a little bit more inventiveness to their plays. Otherwise, well, just they're hitting their heads against the brick wall, and Wind and Rain will be just happy to kill those 30 seconds remaining in game number 2.
Well, BJB into the corner. Final 20 seconds. Wind and Rain trying to hold on. Wasting a little bit of time. Not the greatest touch. Luxor out in front. Casaprima off the back wall. Mexa to follow. He can't get up in time. And with 7 seconds to go, will this one go to Wind and Rain? It looks like it will. Can't put that home. Ball still up in the air. BJB on net. Luxor makes the save. Kamzi into the corner. Luxor keeps it up. Still an opportunity for Dead Rabbits. Snoffmill's going to chip this one. Tries to get it out of the zone. Casaprima keeps the ball in the air. Looking for Mexa. Kamzi's there to cut off the pass. Over to his teammate who will touch it down towards the ground. And that will do it for game number 2. Somehow, Wind and Rain survived the onslaught of that last half. They take it. It's 1-1 in the series.
That was a good game of keep yapping from both sides, and really a test for the Wind and Rain team, how well they can kill the ball, and test for Dead Rabbits team how well they can keep the ball up. And well, it was getting close. Dead Rabbits actually managed to hold down to the ball in the air after the timer has hit 0 for a pretty long time. Even a pass was set up, but by that point, both of the teams were sort of foregoing the game of rotations, of boost hunting, and just trying to figure out something on the field. Eventually, you'd be out of resources. And with what Dead Rabbits had, with that one chance, they got themselves in front of the blue net. They can do it. So now, well, it's 1-1 in the series. Dead Rabbits have been kept at bay just a little bit, but I do believe there's that many more Dead Rabbits fans in the chat, although the vote is in favor of Wind and Rain, 59% to 41 right now. I've seen a lot of more chants for the Dead Rabbits right now, including the very strange phrase of "I love Dead Rabbits," which really doesn't sit that well.
Well, a lot of Dead Rabbits fans in the chat would love to see them take this game number 3. Casa Prima does get demoed there, and it was a close call, but really for all the pressure Dead Rabbits had in game 2, they only mustered 3 shots on goal, which is quite telling when we look at how Wind and Rain played defense. They certainly kept everything to the outside, never let anything really threatening towards their net, and they were able to take that game in a 1-0 scoreline. We'll see how this one goes. A little slow start to this game. Just about a minute gone, still no score. Kamsi's going to take the first real opportunity, but it's just a little bouncer that Luxor's able to clear.
Yeah, the whole defense of Dead Rabbits was in session, so really beating that with that touch was hard. Now, though, another opportunity and more chances coming through. Wind and Rain are honing in on that goal with 4 shots already, with not allowing Dead Rabbits so far to take anything. Although you see Dead Rabbits right now in the attack. It is, well, a good path for Wind and Rain to continue what they started in the previous game. However slow it might be, 1-0 is still a victory.
Certainly is. We've played a minute and a half. Still no score. Kamsi is looking to go underneath Luxor. Not going to happen. Snoffmill does keep the ball in for the moment. Can't quite control it. Does win the 50 over Casa, but Mexa's there to help his teammate out. BJB into the corner. Mexa towards Luxor in front. BJB with the clear. They're going to continue to play on scoreless. But still plenty of time left in this game. Let's see what Luxor can do out of the corner. Tries to play that one off the ceiling towards Mexa. Casa back into the corner. Kamsi gets a touch, but there's Mexa over to Luxor. Casa's going to follow it up. Dead Rabbits missing the first pass, has the follow-up. It's 1-0.
Good job on a follow-up, and Casa Prima got the boost in the midfield. He was already fighting for it with the Wind and Rain player. If he didn't get that, that missed pass would have been for nothing. And really, just the brightness of mind to actually go for it. Seemingly his team had already had it, but no, some safety. Right now, some safety and defense for them as well. Dead Rabbits ruling on that one goal, might get a second one immediately.
BJP will get the clear though. Here's Snoffmill. He wants to find the touch on. He does, but Casa Prima makes a solid save. BJP keeps the ball in. Luxor's up for it, whiffing on that one. Kamsi takes a quick shot right into the awaiting Casa Prima. This one will fall down, but it does get cleared away. Halfway gone. Good demo. Casa Prima can't get to it, and Wind and Rain tie us up.
I love how that one goal immediately opened up the game. Wind and Rain threw themselves on the net of Dead Rabbits immediately with a barrage of shots. And that demolition, well, it's hard already to defend your net against Wind and Rain team. When you're down a player, well, it's even harder. Dead Rabbits weren't in the lead for too long. Their celebrations were cut short, and now it's Wind and Rain wanting to continue their momentum from the previous game.
Absolutely, and we'll see if they can do that. I mean, we're tied up at 1. We're pretty much in a best of 3 now, even though this is a best of 5 series. This goal is going to be very important to see who at least breaks the tie in game number 3. Could have big implications for the rest of the series as Casa Prima plays that off the back wall. It does fall down to be cleared by Wind and Rain. Now as Mexa tries to collect. Can he get this by Pansy? Not quite. Casaprima into the corner, trying to go over top of Snoff Mill. Luxor's there to help his teammate out. Still, the ball remains in the orange half for now. But again, this game has been very uneventful, maybe. It's been a lot of back and forth, but no real opportunities on either side. There's been plenty of shots, but nothing has been super dangerous.
It's like the most playstyles of both teams are clashing together in this uneventful way, since both the teams are not taking any extra risks, are preferring to play steadily. It's basically like if you're playing chess with a pretty safe strategy, you're just slowly moving the pieces out, and obviously at some point you just clash with the opposition's pieces in pretty much the same places. And I feel like exactly what's happening between Wind and Rain and Dead Rabbits right now. Same positional plays, same offense, same defense. As a result, they just meet each other in the middle, say, all right, well, pleased to meet you. Oh, and that's Kamze almost making it an own goal for the opposition. Dead Rabbits could have found an unlikely double tap from the opponent's side.
30 seconds to go. We'll have to see which team can break this tie, or will we see yet another overtime? Nexa towards the net. We haven't seen an overtime yet in this series. But this series is very reminiscent of the series we just watched. We might be headed towards overtime here in game number 3. Mexa tries to play it out of the corner. BJB, a little bit of a touch. It's going to land right on top of Mexa. What can he do? Nothing, really. Kamze does kill that ball. We are in overtime, game number 3. This next goal, huge implications for the series. Both teams would love to find it, but it has been very back and forth. Game number 3, no real momentum for either side, a goal apiece. This one's going to be interesting as we play on through overtime.
That kickoff and the overtime could have been the catalyst, just resetting the whole state of the play and giving one team a potential opportunity. And I'd say Dead Rabbits had their chance. They got to demolition for a second. They had all 3 players of Wind and Rain on the same flank, but they weren't prepared for that situation. And even if they tried to keep the ball in the blue, it didn't stay there for long. And now the game has returned back to what we've seen in regulation. Somebody needs to break that mold. Could it be Dead Rabbits? They previously already stolen the game from Wind and Rain in the closing second of regulation. Now, can they do the same in the overtime?
Well, here's Luxor. He will move it on to the Wind and Rain half. Snoffmill in solid defensive positioning, gets a clear of his own. Casaprima, big out of position. BJB, the deflection on net, does get saved away by Casaprima. Good recovery by him. Still, though, Wind and Rain looking dangerous. Luxor will get the clear. Mexa is going to beat BJB to the ball. This one's going to bounce out in front, but a good demo by Snoffmill onto Luxor kind of kills this momentum here for Dead Rabbits. They want to keep the ball in. They will not be able to, although Mexa is going to turn on this one. A double commit there by Wind and Rain, but it doesn't get punished. Mexa couldn't get past both the oncoming defenders. So we continue to play. Overtime, game number 3. Nearly 2 minutes into overtime. Still nobody with a good opportunity in this overtime session. Kamze wants to make that change, though. Casaprima, solid touch. BJB, the rebound. He'll score. Wind and Rain take game 3.
Wind and Rain has been working towards that goal for the whole of this game. 7 minutes, 13 shots to 4 shots by Dead Rabbits. You can clearly see just by looking at the scoreboard which one of the teams was in control of this one. And even if Casaprima made save on this attempt, it just wasn't going anywhere. Wind and Rain were having players in the correct position, or at the very least in an advanced position, advanced enough to continue a play, to challenge any clears. Dead Rabbits, in my opinion, were lacking those players pretty often. Again, they had a player up front, but then no follow-up.
Yeah.
You rarely can score a goal on your own, and Dead Rabbits only mustered 1.
And I mean, it's part of that is also the shot counter. I mean, in the last game, they had 3 total shots. This game went to almost 3 minutes of overtime, and they only had 4 total shots on net. It's not a recipe for success. They've had the offense, but they haven't had the touches to get past that first defender, that second defender. because I mean, it's kind of the basic formula of Rocket League, right? You get the ball in the offensive zone, you get that initial touch to beat the first defender, you get a follow-up touch to find the pass out in front, and then you get the shot. They have not been able to get by those first two defenders at all, and that is purely because Wind and Rain looks so comfortable on the defensive zone.
Yeah, they're playing their natural game. Dead Rabbits are also playing their natural game, but you see that the natural game is just not enough for them. They need to bring a little bit of an extra, some spice on the field. Again, new game, straight from the kickoff. If they can take control of this, I see some great things for Dead Rabbits in the future. But for now, they really need to get past that little unfortunate thing of we need to get the ball past the defenders, otherwise it's just not working out for them. I wouldn't say that they're making huge mistakes in defense, that they're getting the double commits going or mispositionings. It's just that it's not enough to bring it past Wind and Rain.
Yeah, certainly not. We've seen them control the ball, but just no real shots on net. As we are underway, game number 4. BJB up for it, and Wind and Rain have the advantage in the series. Match point for them. Kamzi looking for Snoffville, who was still up in the air, but Casaprima able to clear that off the back wall. Minute gone, still no score. Mexa trying to pick up BJB. He's having none of that, and Kamzi will play it away. Still zeros on the scoreboard. I would not be surprised if this turned into yet another low-scoring game here, Jam.
Yeah, despite the low scores, Wind and Rain have been dictating the pace of the play with their shots, with their opportunities. Just the possession that they've been bringing on. Yes, they weren't able to score as many goals as we've seen in our previous series. This is not the Brandon Gaming versus the Bim Bam Gamers, but it has been the Wind and Rain game. For Dead Rabbits, though, a good news is that the game is still open enough for them to sneak on through. They have been getting chances. They have open areas of the field in which they can work, but they really need to make every single touch that they make count.
Dead Rabbits, just a couple of moments ago, getting the first shot of the game. We are 2 minutes in, and still no shots on the board yet for Wind and Rain. This one out in front, off the back wall here. Snoffmail looking for a shot. It's going to fall down in front of Casaprima. No problems to collect and clear. Mexa cheating up a little bit. He's looking for a touch out of the corner. Won't be able to find the double. He does get back to the ball, however. But no follow-up from his teammates. So still only one shot so far in this game. We've played about half of it. Snoffmill up for it. Doesn't get the touch. Mexa does. And he will take advantage. Puts that one home. It's 1-0.
Top right corner. I'll take it. Mexa does everything all by himself. And that's the importance of playing the backboard for you. Yes, that Nexo, that was Nex. That was Snuffmill trying to get the ball on the back wall for the Wind and Rain. Couldn't reach it, and bam, there's an opening for the Dead Rabbits. They were looking for it, they found it, and hell, with the amount of shots so far in this game, this might be all that it takes for them to take this one. Second game, bring it to a 2-2, and maybe a game number 5. As unlikely it is. Well, Wind and Rain still have 2 minutes. Time has flown, Hunted. We're already in the second half of this game, despite really not seeing much by both the teams.
Yeah, certainly. I think it's due to the low-scoring nature of these games. Have gone by quite quickly. But still, 1-0 game for Dead Rabbits. Casaprima looks to put a shot on goal. BJB getting demoed on the backside. Is respawning now. All 3 players grouped up in this corner, but it's not going to hurt them for now, as BJB will get the clear. Kamza getting bumped. Casaprima, great demo by Luxor. Casaprima, open net. He'll put that home, and the demo's coming out for Dead Rabbits.
That is a very smart play. Luxor, the moment he saw that his team has the ball, he went from I'm retreating back to I am on a warpath. Well, and war, what is it good for? Well, supposedly a second goal for Dead Rabbits.
And hey, that might be all it takes, as they only have to defend for the next 90 seconds if they want to send this to a game number 5. Wind and Rain would certainly like to put one on the board at the very least. BJB might have an opportunity. Whiffs on that one. Great pass, though, from Snoffmill to Kamzi. Cannot find the touch to put the ball on net. Snoffmill's going to turn on this. Keeps it in the zone. BJB harassing the defense, but Casa Prima is there to clear it away. Final 65 on the clock. Snoffmill back into the orange corner. Here's Luxor to boom it back down. BJB up for it. We'll play it into the sidewall where Kamsi's looking for a teammate in mid, but again, it's just going to be cleared back. That has been kind of the theme of the day, Jam, is when a team is up by a couple of goals, maybe even just one goal in the dying seconds, we see them really ratchet up on defense, and it just seems like all of these teams are so good at killing these end-up games.
Yeah, well, defense is strong for many of these teams. It's sometimes that the offense is suffering, and the offense is suffering really hard for Wind and Rain right now. We still have 30 seconds to improve this result, but as it stands right now, for the whole duration of this game, minus those 20 seconds, we'll make it for the whole duration of this game, with the exception of the last 20 seconds, Hunted, Wind and Rain haven't taken a single shot on target. Compared to the previous games when they were out shooting Dead Rabbits, sometimes double, triple figures, this is completely not like Wind and Rain. Here though, with 1 goal, 20 seconds, let's see if they can create something out of nothing in the dying minutes of the game.
You said it. 19 seconds on the clock for them to get their first shot on the board. They only need 1 goal. That's a good play to try to keep the ball in, but Casa Prima's going to clear it over top of Snoffmill. BJB over top. That's a double commit if he could have just gotten over top of both of them. Can't quite keep the ball up, and Dead Rabbits will send us to a game number 5. But my goodness, this series has been close in almost a different way than our first series of the day. This one, super low scoring, a defensive struggle between these teams, and I don't even know what's going to happen in the next game. It seems like whichever team can muster the most shots seems to take the victory, but bit uncharacteristic for Wind and Rain to only have 2 shots that whole game.
It has been a turnaround of the century for Wind and Rain. Again, compared to what they've done in the previous games, this can be their downfall if they can't regroup for game number 5. Just dying out to Dead Rabbits like that will be, I'd say, disastrous. I bet on bit Wind and Rain, well, proverbially, not with my own money, and thinking that they were going to win the series. But I wasn't expecting something like this, not getting opportunities. What I was seeing from them, though, is many of their chances were sort of dying down. Their touches weren't working as well anymore. They were just, yes, on the field, yes, making the touches, but no longer those brilliant touches that we've seen previously. It's just like that somebody has flipped the switch and it goes full on quality, 50% of the quality. And that's how Wind and Rain were feeling game number 4.
Yeah, definitely an interesting turnaround. And I do have to give credit. Part of that, certainly to Dead Rabbits, following up on their touches a lot more, getting a lot more opportunities, a lot of good shots on goal. As I think we're going to have to restart the server here. Yeah, it does look like not everybody in the game. So unfortunately, we're going to have a small delay between games 4 and 5, but we will get underway as soon as possible. Regardless, here, Jam, this one, again, the whole series has come down to defense, but I mean, you kind of mentioned it, that these teams are struggling on the offensive side of the ball, but that is the key to victory, I think, for game 5. Which team works out their issues on offense?
Yeah, well, they had solid 20 minutes to do so. We even had an overtime, so that's a little bit of extra time thrown in over there. You know exactly how your opponent plays, and really in that last game, it does seem like Dead Rabbits have figured it out. Yep, it's we can beat Wind and Rain at the game that has been pretty similar on both ends. Whether they can keep up with this, they're still, I wouldn't say that they're doing this with confidence. If you'll just look at the stats in game number 4, they speak pretty strongly in favor of Dead Rabbits, but the overall feel is that it's still an incredibly close game that at the blink of an eye can turn to one side of the field or the other. We still haven't had a game that ended with a goal difference of more than 1.
Right.
Almost had a chance at the end of the last game, but Wind and Rain still got one for the road. Now we'll be coming into this one with a little more, well, a little bit more, well, say energy, I'd say, knowing that yes, they lost, but I'd even say that the Dead Rabbits momentum might have been just a little bit killed with that technical pause.
Oh no, is it going to happen again?
Oh, we'll just have the electric boogaloo on the field. It's the little rocket shuffle, I think some
Yeah,
people are
there
referring
you
it to.
go.
It's a lovely little dance, but I'm pretty sure we'll get everyone, both from Wind and Rain and Dead Rabbits, on the field. Otherwise, it's going to be just pretty unfair. Oh, we'll wait out and see what happens. But
Oh,
yeah, nope.
are we here?
Any
Join
second now?
night.
No. Oh no. Should I? Oh, there we go.
There we
Everyone
go. All
just in the
right, we are
nick of
here.
time.
We've
Holy
done it.
moly. And almost a kickoff goal immediately. Well, this could have been ended badly. We saw kickoff goals in our first series. Too many for my liking, honestly. Here though, it's Wind and Rain and Dead Rabbits for game number 5. Hunted. Will we see a complete change? We saw 4 games of slow, methodical Rocket League. How about Wind and Rain and Dead Rabbits completely change the pace, the story, and the song, and score pretty early? There we go, Wind and Rain, as Dead Rabbits gets caught up on a flank, a dribble, lets the ball go past every single one of them.
Oh yeah, I would certainly love to see a high-scoring game between these teams because they're all quality players. They're all good strikers in their own right. They just have not been able to find that cohesion on the offensive side. And if a game 5 is going to be decided, I would love to see it be decided by some high-flying plays, some good offense from either team. And that's a bit of a turnaround so far early on in this game. A 1-0 lead for Wind and Rain. Can they add on to it? We'll see. Suprema is going to play this one away. Gets the second touch pass. BJP, solid play from him. Snoffmill towards the net. Mexa in there to make the save. Luxor gets a touchdown towards Mexa. He will go past the first defender, looking for the touch out in front. Luxor wins the challenge, but it is just a bit too high. 1 minute gone. 1-0 for Wind and Rain. And I'm really hoping that that's not the only goal we're going to see.
No, it doesn't actually seem like it. You see Dead Rabbits having more opportunities bringing the ball past the players with all those dribbles. Previously, that ball was just dead in the ground, but here with an opening, and some of that precision, Casaprim finds the top left corner, and Dead Rabbits just like that. This time, keeping all the players up front. In that situation where the play is basically set up for them, there's no chance of them missing.
And a solid shot there by Casa Prima. Puts it top shelf to tie us up. 3:40 to go in game number 5. Already 2 goals on the board for these teams. It's far more than we can say for some of the last games. As Kamsi's looking for a touch. There's BJB to play it into the sidewall. He can't go over top of Casa Prima, so it's going to be Luxor to clear it back down into the blue zone. Again, both teams looking to open up space. Both teams wanting that ball control early on here. Certainly don't want to play from behind in a game 5. We are all knotted up at 1 with 3 minutes to go. You know, we talk about important goals, Jam, and I don't think there's much more of an important goal than a tie-breaking goal with under, 2 minutes, 3 minutes left in a game 5 like this.
It is an extremely important opportunity. Right now, you just saw Dead Rabbits trying to play the ball past. They are now able to bring the ball through from the flank to the center. It's now in the center where they're struggling to find that connection, that shot that will go on target. Players seem to be a little bit late, despite the play evolving every single time by the same scenario. Ball getting through, someone needs to be in the center to connect with it. They still doesn't seem to be ready, and that's just, again, killing their attacks, killing their possession.
Well, Mexa trying to clear this one out. Kamsi's going to keep it in. Luxor into the corner. Can he play this out in front? He does. Is there any follow-up? Mexa gets challenged. He couldn't quite put the ball on goal. A long follow-up there from Dead Rabbits. They could not find the back of the net. That's a great pass. That one's off the back wall. Both players turning around. No risk, it seems like, from Wind and Rain. They would much rather play the defensive game. Don't want to give up a free open goal, but they need to put something on net, as can't win without scoring goals. We are tied up still with 1:30 to go.
And just like there, both of the Dead Rabbits not getting anything out of their attack when the ball was already in front of the net. And the same with Wind and Rain. They are not taking risks. Finally, Snoffmill decides to break the pace just a little bit. Throw himself straight into the ball. That short rotation he took a big risk. Knowing how close Luxor and Casaprima were to the ball, the clear was pretty much inevitable, and yet, perhaps expecting that two players in the same spot might not coordinate well, Snuffmill just decided to go at it hard, well, and he got the results for sure.
We are in the final 80 seconds of the series here. 1 goal lead for Wind and Rain. Casaprima plays it off the ceiling, puts it home himself, and we're tied back up at 2.
Now, this game just refuses to go in someone's favor. And Casaprima, as good as these touches go, that was fantastic. BJB, I think, expected a second touch for Casaprima, perhaps. Didn't read the situation. Also, I believe he was challenging his initially, so it was Snuffmill on the ground, rather, who was supposed to be that saving player. Well, a tie game is a tie game, and we are looking at a good possibility of this series extending even further than this, but passing plays are coming in through, and if someone can follow this up, especially with these misses, Wind and Rain might get themselves a possibility in the final minute.
52 seconds left. We'll see if Wind and Rain turn this into anything here. Snuffmill doesn't get the touch, and Mexa will find the clear. Kamzi up for it, plays it down towards Snuffmill. This one's off the corner wall. Casaprima in a solid defensive position to make that challenge. Looking for some help from his teammates in mid and gets it from Luxor. Final 30 seconds now. Over top of Snuffmill goes Luxor. He can't quite get the challenge out of the corner. Casaprima turns this ball around. Kamzi in a bit of an awkward spot. He was pushed up a little bit too far. Lucky that ball didn't go over top of him. We've got 15 seconds left to play. Overtime is looming in this decisive game number 5. I cannot wait to see how this one turns out.
We've already seen a chance for a buzzer beater previously in this series. Dead Rabbits weren't able to get that one in. So another overtime. Will the kickoff, the reset, be beneficial for either of the teams? Still, it's Wind and Rain and Dead Rabbits are not the kind of team that goes crazy for a kickoff. Just very, very mellow, very vanilla on their approaches to the start of the game, to the kickoff. So we might be in for a long run. Strap in, folks. Who will take that first risk? Because really, somebody needs to say, I've had enough of this vanilla. Give me at least Neapolitan.
We'll see which team does take this victory. It is game number 5. It is overtime. Winner of this moves on to the next round. Semifinals, I believe. Could be quarterfinals. Either way, I think the next round is a qualifying round, so both of these teams want to get there if possible. Next goal will win. BJB out of the corner. What can he do? Gets over top of Luxor. Casaprima's there to clear it away. Wind and Rain really looking to put on the pressure, but Casaprima gets that challenge. Here comes Mexa in transition. Can't go over top of BJB, and he'll collect. Just play this slowly out of his corner. Here's Kamzi to follow it up. Puts it wide of the goal. Casaprima. Again, both teams playing very slow out of their own zone. Don't want to give away possession. But still, that leads to just a bit of back and forth. Snuffmill a bit out of position. Out in front! Luxor doesn't get there! What happened? He had an opportunity. He couldn't find the touch. It's still in overtime here in Game 5.
Not enough boost for Luxor. I'm watching his camera, and he just couldn't chase it. He set up his own play perfectly. But no boost means no chance in hell of chasing that ball in through. Dead Rabbits, though, out of that moment, can continue up with the pressure, but they better not make the same mistake as Wind and Rain just did, opening that defense.
This one out in front, BJB goes off the post with the follow-up. And still the ball in the orange half. Kamzi's backing off. Here comes Casaprima, tries to go over top. It is played into the blue corner now. Snuffmill along the sidewall. Luxor getting the demo. Teams trading demos now as Mexa's going up for a double touch. BJB is there to keep the ball away, but Luxor trying to find his teammates in mid. BJB in transition. Mexa in a good defensive spot, but he can't get past the attacker. Still, we continue to play. We've played about another half of a game of Rocket League here in Game 5 overtime. Opportunities on both sides, neither one able to capitalize. Snuffmill can't beat Mexa. They're going to reset. That's not the greatest touch from BJB, but Kamzi's there to bail his teammate out, and we'll flick it back towards the orange half.
I would actually prefer Casaprima to go for it. Regardless of whether he could have gotten for it reading a bounce off the wall when your teammate just made a back pass you didn't expect, and then put in an extra pressure of a player coming in through for a challenge, for a block, would have really played hard with the Wind and Rain defenders. But Casa Prima decides to play it safe, and I still feel like you will just sort of survive this game. You might get an opportunity. That's what both the teams are currently relying on. But what you really need is a good all chance that you create for yourself rather than something that falls into your lap.
There's Kamzi. He plays that one right into Luxor on the back wall. BJB keeps the ball in. This one's out in front. Mexa gets the clear. Not without challenge by Snoff Mill, but it's going to be Casa Prima down. He has an opportunity. He'll score. Dead Rabbits are moving on to the next round.
What a boomer for Casa Prima on the flank, getting the read right. And then you see that Wind and Rain's defenders are no good spot to block it. Both returning through the midfield. Nobody is waiting on the back on the line. Up one small miss, and in the end, the game does end up with one mistake, one opportunity falling into the lap of Casa Prima. And as he finishes off his hat trick, Dead Rabbit should be pretty grateful to their player. Casa Prima gets Dead Rabbits into the next round.
Wow, my goodness. What a series. A second 5-game series. This time even longer than the last one with all of the overtimes. My goodness, these teams so close. I mean, we've talked about how close the scene is in Europe, the bubble scene. And man, it has really come to fruition. These series have been wonderful, and we still have so much more Rocket League left.
Well, yeah, we'll be watching as the teams will be getting into the qualification. Next round, officially it's the quarterfinals, but properly those are the qualifying matches for tomorrow, as 4 of the teams will be playing against the invited teams. Still keeping that a secret, so keep attention to the social media. Our Twitter might even be announced on the stream. We never know. Well, I'll keep the suspense. But for now, well, Wind and Rain, commiserations to them, and Dead Rabbits, congratulations. They are one step closer to getting to day 2 and that 1,500 prize pool.
Yeah, I do want to take a quick look at the bracket. Do we know who they are going to be playing? Where are you, Dead Rabbits? Yes, they're going to be playing against 2 BIM, 1 BAM, which not to be confused with the BIM BAM gamers.
Oh, European scene, I love you.
And the Bim Bam gamers are still currently locked in their round 3 matchup. So not everybody has been decided, but either way, we still have a lot of action to bring you. I know that we want to stream as many of these final bracket games as possible. So in order to do that, we are going to take a very short break. On the other side, we will see which of these teams will be the first to qualify for tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss it.